crib now. Not too long ago, it was the field. Wow. Pyrex, rocks, glocks, and more stuff. Enough to get a man 6 fellies and 1 snuff. Nothing soft about the abs except for the cocaine. The hood pushing cats' wigs back, oh man. Guess the youngsters need some Jesus. Road gang. Yeah, we grew up in the trap, oh man. We just blessed to still be here to tell a story. Jesus in the redemption business, true story. No pseudo statements in his allegory. If you dive off into the life of Christ, it's better than Maury. From the pit to the palace, he turned this misfit story around, no malice. Born in the pen, 14 years in, now I got extra bedrooms and bathrooms for my friends.
The miracle of Christ is a transformed life. The miracle of Christ, the miracle of Christ is a transformed life. Illuminated, shine light. The miracle of Christ is a transformed life. The miracle of Christ, the miracle of Christ is a transformed life. Illuminated, shine light.
Overcomers by the blood, just a young thug. From the north side of the dub, grew up with the plug. Serving smokers and dodging rollers is every day. Threw them hands when I had to, still don't play. But follow peace if it's possible, like the words say. Don't touch the anointed, he warned them all to swerve, man. I found chains, not bound and chains by no thing. No dope game, no hanging out on the ropes, man. I'm all in, I walked out like I walked in. No fear, I won't break and won't bend. God's soldier, God's chosen, God's friend. I took some losses, but my soul is not one of them. Took them L's to the chin, yet I'm still alive. And I'm walking out them flames, Daniel 3:25. Click tight with Jesus Christ and word is bond. He coming back by the looks of it, it won't be long.
The miracle of Christ is a transformed life. The miracle of Christ, the miracle of Christ is a transformed life. Illuminated, shine light. The miracle of Christ is a transformed life. The miracle of Christ, the miracle of Christ is a transformed.
Good morning. Welcome back. Hopefully you have been enjoying this season so far. Obviously we are back to talk a little more. Transparent, I've been looking over the last 2 episodes and I know we talked a lot about family, a lot about church, but I did want to ask you, because my last episode was talk about your family, how you got to re-meet your sisters and everything like that. Definitely my elder 2 aunts, well, my younger 2 aunts. So I wanted to ask you, how are they doing now?
Actually, our relationship, let me premise it this way. One of the hardest things that we found in growing up, so I mentioned that there was Betty and Rakima and myself at my aunt's house, and then there was Crystal, Jamia, and Shantae at my living in my mother's house. And so we don't know one another. And when I went into the military, things changed drastically for them. But we never had that family thing going. Like, because of the generational demonic forces was always trying to pit one house against the other. So the sisters were not liking one another for no apparent reason, because we didn't even communicate half the time. And so here, aunts, uncles, and cousins were trying to make one side hate the other side. I mean, like, you got to understand that when I look hindsight back, as they say, hindsight is 20/20, I really begin to understand the power of being separated. God separated me enough so that I would not be influenced with the hatred. Because what it did was it put hatred almost as if it was dripped up from hell, the cesspool of hell. So hate, because love comes down and extends out, but hate has an entry point called hell. So hell is put in the bloodline, and your aunts and uncles and cousins, you spit it out through every negative conversation, trying to fight one another, trying to put one cousin against the other. And my family was good for that. And so loving on my sisters while I was in the house was fine. And then once I went to the military, life changed. I became a mom, and then I got married. But one of the things that I have to say I did love about my husband was the fact that we both believed in family. We really did. And so every year We would go to Virginia first, and then we would go to North Carolina oftentimes, and then we would come to Philadelphia. So when I came to Philadelphia, I only had one mission. One. And that was to see my aunt, who I consider my mom, and that was to see my sisters, all of them, even the ones that were not in the house with us, but mainly Betty and Rakima. And I really wanted to pay homage because I found out later. So let me try to say it like this, because I want you to understand, and I want them to understand how valuable they are to me without being emotional. The thing about it was, you're growing up in hate. We don't have enough God in us to contend with the hate. So you're trying to live in spite of the hate with one another. And so I wasn't really in church as of yet, but the love, or maybe the thought of being a family, was what kept me going. The thought of us coming together, sitting around a Christmas dinner, sitting around, a family meal was always in the back of my mind. Like, is this ever possible? And then so as Randy and I would come home and everything like that, that's why I look forward. When we would go home, we would go to Atlantic City. You remember them days. Mm-hmm. And we piled up in my van. And I promise, I don't know how we got 12, 15 people up in there, but we piled everybody up in there, my sisters, and then as their children came along, we piled them up in the van too when we went. I always wanted to make sure that when I came home, they knew I loved them. Now, here was the problem. The hate, external hate, meaning the forces that were hateful, would say stuff like, oh, they think they're better than us. Oh, they're rich. They don't like you. They don't like you. They like the negativity. And sad to say, my mom was a very key factor in that when it came to my younger sister, Shantae. Every time we would come home, I would call her up and say, hey, I'm going to come by and get Shantae, because that was the baby and she was the only one there. Crystal was living her life and everything like that. But I never wanted Shantae to grow up thinking that we didn't like her, thinking that she wasn't good enough, valued, or whatever the case was, because I knew how my mom was. But again, that was mom. That was her mom. And so she saw. Now, by this time, I had forgiven Loretta, so we didn't have any issues or anything like that. There was a mutual ground. God had saved me. I was learning how to forgive her, learning how to love her in spite of whatever. I was learning how to love the family to the best of my ability. But to be honest, I didn't visit a lot of family unless I knew them prior to, or it just kind of depends. I don't have another way to explain it, but my point is, I knew where not to go and who not to bother, because in my mind I was still trying to have this visual of a family unit. So Shantae, being the youngest one, I want her, and she was the same. I think my daughter has her like by a month or something like that, or a month and a half. But I wanted her to know that she was loved. But my mother would say stuff like, no, she can't go. She's not here. She's with her dad, or something like that. And then sometimes I would just come home and I'd pop up and didn't tell her I was there until I showed up at the house or something, because I wanted her to let Shantae come. And then years later, I would find out that she told Shantae we didn't love her, we didn't like her, we left her, like all kind of stuff. And again, demonic. You're putting poison in children and you think it's okay. I have another sister that doesn't like me, but when you really think about it, it's because of the poison that was there prior to. Now, since we're talking about that, that same sister we took in our home, did we not? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna interview him so you can understand the hate. Now, I didn't know until later when Crystal shared with me what she really felt about me. And I was kind of hurt, but we were living in how many bedrooms then?
2 bedroom.
2 bedroom. So it was me, you, and your brother, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we brought her into the home, And who took that second room?
Yeah, we give it a room.
And then where did y'all sleep?
Living room.
So picture what I'm saying. My son sacrificed. I'm mama, I'm supposed to have room, but y'all get what I'm saying. They sacrificed their room, let her stay there. No bills paid. We paid food. They paid electricity and everything. But then the issue comes and you don't want to do a part. You don't want to do anything. But when you go back and you tell the story, you make it sound like we just threw you out. I was trying to build some type of relationship with my sisters because we were denied it, is what I'm trying to say. So we all have different stories, but in the case of Shantae was a baby. And so we were trying to show love and include her, but hate was telling her we didn't want her. And so my point is that that's been the fight. The fight has been, how do we break these generational curses? Everybody talking about generational curses and all of that, but we're not breaking nothing. We lying. Now here's the part that probably hurt me no more than anything else. We went to church together. Mm-hmm. We didn't always pray together, but she always wanted to sit up and talk about God. So how do we go to church together and want to talk about God all day long, but you don't want me to challenge you and to get in your own place? You don't want to forgive. How can you call yourself a child of God when you don't want to forgive? One of the things, before I continue, that one of the things, and as my son is sitting here, I can be honest about that. There's a story that we're going to tell you in one of the upcoming episodes, and it's heart-wrenching. And I ain't even got to it. I wanted to quit. Wanted just to be like, this church stuff ain't working. All of it. And I remember God saying this: if you stop and you give up, they're going to give up too. I had to yet again live my life in such a way that they would have no reason to say God ain't real. Because if they could see me still love God in spite of adversity, in spite of family drama, in spite of church hurt, dysfunctional church hurt, and being mishandled, I become the witness that God is still God and that God is real. So anybody, whether I'm talking about Gail or whether I'm talking about my sister, if your Holy Ghost don't bring you to a place of repentance, doesn't bring you to a place of loving and forgiving your family, if your Holy Ghost doesn't tell you how to love on your kids and come back and repent and to love on them and to embrace them, you have no Holy Ghost. Why? Because the Bible says that we will know them by how they love one another. If love can keep you critical, if love can keep you talking about everybody in the family and smiling in their face and causing see the discord and trying to make everybody look bad and trying to prove how wonderful you are, it is not love. It is hypocrisy. That's the thing. And I mentioned Gail because it's I don't even mean it really in a negative sense, but that was my first orientation to God. So when you hear me talk about it from another episode, I want you to understand, I'm 13, 14, the foster home, they just got us out to go to church, and we went for the candy and the food. But think about what I'm saying. You are the first representation that I had of God, and I wasn't sold. To my kids, I become the same type of first representation. No, I'm not going to always smile, but they're not going to see me quit. Yes, they have seen everything we have gone through in church, but I have not quit. Well, whether I have tears in my eyes or not, I know God is real beyond people. So when it comes to my sisters, I knew that God was promising me that we were going to reconcile as sisters. But I also knew that I couldn't worry about the whole family. I just had to start with my sister. So every time we came home, and every time we went to Atlantic City and went to the beach and ate cheesesteak and sat up and laughed and talked and just had a good time, those are the memories that showed me that God was keeping his word and that God was giving us time to reconcile, to come back together and destroy what the enemy was trying to do, no matter what. And so over the years, and so this, you want to say something before I keep going? I got too emotional. And so this, we filmed going home several times. We did it about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, around that. We drove down about 4 or 5. Yeah,
4 or 5 years ago. And we didn't do this prior to. So again, I told you, Give Voice to Band has been around not a long time, but it had already been in a plan. And at that time, I felt like I didn't have enough information put together. So we put Give Voice to Pain off for another 3 years or so. And I started out with Michelle Loud, who is phenomenal. And so when people see you do something, they think it just popped up, something you're trying to do. No, this was always in the plan. So this last year, we went home and I said, okay, this is time. And let me tell you why I loved it. Number one, that we all got the same crazy. Like, just at the moment where you think that they not crazy or not, we all don't have that same temperament, and then you go and you be like, oh yeah, I'm home. We do. I'm home. Did you feel like that? You know them, your people, don't you?
Of course.
Yeah. We yeah. Mm-hmm. No matter how saved and shiny we look, that's why I say sometimes family makes you not forget where you come from, so you can't get too bougie and high-minded like you all that deep, right? That'll do that. So when we went home, sitting with them, and I tried not to go too deep because I just wanted you all to meet my sisters. And my nieces and nephews, who are way grown, way grown. And you'll hear the conversation in a minute. But, and you know, you're going to see what you see. But just being around them and feeling that love, and believe it or not, we did not get done recording until something like 2-something in the morning. And 2-something in the morning, we dated my sister's girlfriend and made up some baked chicken, some baked macaroni and cheese, and we just eating, you know. And started out kind of hostile, it seemed like, and then we just all made up. Like, it's not our nature to just be in some, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, what do you think about it afterwards and everything, how we all kind of gel from beginning to end?
Oh yeah, for the most part, that was being behind the camera. I love it. Yes, it was very passionate.
Right.
Passionate exchange. That's a good way to put it.
Right.
Then what y'all don't see is definitely some of the aftermath of it. It was a very good. She said it best, gelling together. You see where it seemed passionate, but it was all filled with love.
Exactly. That's why I said we are related. And I really, I think you're going to enjoy it. But I wanted to take this time out to let them know, as they already know, y'all know this ain't about no show. But I could not tell my story without at least not showing their faces. But I also wanted to take this time to say, every time I came home, every time we went to Atlantic City, I didn't even realize how much you all loved it and enjoyed it and appreciated it, because there were so many negative voices of other family members telling y'all stuff and telling me stuff, but we never stopped what we did, and we look forward to it, you know. And even through our exchanges and the lack of talking and whatnot, all of us in our own feelings, the love has never stopped. And it is my hope that now all of my nieces and nephews are basically grown except for Shantae's little girl. It is my hope and my prayer that we can continue this, and the more that we learn how to reconcile, not that we won't have problems, arguments, and misunderstandings, but reconciliation is having the maturity and the God-like character to come together in love. Not phonyism, in love. Love means that I ain't like what you did last week, but we still fam. You understand what I'm saying? That's the difference. And as long as we can keep doing that, what we're doing at that particular point is we are reversing the curse. So your kids don't have to grow up and keep hearing something negative about what you did. Y'all know what I'm talking to my sisters now, but y'all know what I'm talking about, how every time we turned around, all we had to hear about was how bad Loretta was and what she did, and then they called us bad seeds, and we would never be nothing, and we would never do this, and we would never do that. Y'all have heard it all. But in spite of it, we stand educated, we stand independent, self-sufficient, and we're just trying to figure life out. And that is the same tenacity by which I'm believing that we're still coming together and making those moves of coming home. So it's always been a pleasure for us to come home and to spend time with you. So to the audience, I hope and I pray that you enjoy what you're about to see.
My name is Betty Alexander, Betty Karen, maybe Betty Gloria Alexander, that's what I've been told. And I am Sandy Alexander's younger sister.
Which sister?
One of the younger, I'm number
5.
No.
You are, because I say 6.
5, okay. I'm sister 5, number 5.
Sister 5.
I am second to the last.
So what's the one thing, or let me say this way, so what do you remember? You're the youngest one, so what do you remember? Well, next to the youngest, so what do you remember? Good, bad, and indifferent, whatever.
So I remember, I feel like I remember, I know I was living with Barbara Jean Sparks. That's my mama. I remember living with her from like age 3. But I know I was there as a baby. I know that she got me at 3 months old. Yeah, like between 2 and 3 months old from the hospital, they got me. But I remember actually like being in the house and living there at 3 is when I as far as back as I remember.
So, was I ever mean to you?
No, actually, no. I remember, you know, us playing around all the time in the house, getting in trouble for being too loud and doing stuff. And we always had a lot of company at our house. And I remember some of your friends that came to the house all the time, especially Kim and them from across the street.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa. Rakima like Lisa. Wait, you can get
you cannot get in.
I remember getting beaten, running around.
You want to get inside?
Now.
You remember she used to beat you?
For you.
No.
That's Rakima.
The best sister.
You gotta be down, Rakima.
Bend down so they can see you.
The best.
No, the only one I remember giving me a beating and I always ran all around the house and hit. No, was Gail.
No,
Gail.
Everybody, because if we had
How you
money,
gonna tell me what I
we'd
remember?
bet on it. Sandy beat
Gail.
you, Grandma beat you, Gail beat you, you ran
Nope.
under the table, you ran under the bed, you ran under the sheet.
Now I always ran under the bed. I hid under the dining room table.
So you remember you had to get them stitches right there? Sandy did that.
No. No. First off, this no.
The first time I heard her say staples. You said that good.
No. These stitches came from.
Not from here. Here.
No, nothing about that.
She remember.
Like Bob Rakima, you can't. Exactly, you can't tell me what I remember.
You gotta be in it and be.
She always gotta be the one to just do anything. Like I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not the one that got beat by 50 million people. That was her.
Okay, it is not your turn.
Okay.
So let's see. All right. So I don't know. Like, so I think by the time when I went to the military, how old was you? 'Cause I think that's kind of where.
I don't know. I remember you at 16 telling us you was going to the army. And I remember when you left and Shayna was with us.
Right.
And I feel like he wasn't there for a long time. Like it wasn't even like a year.
Right.
I remember he was still little. Like he didn't walk or anything. Like he was still little when he left.
Yeah.
And then I feel like after you left, we didn't see you. You came back at like maybe 3 years later, I remember.
Yeah, probably about that. And then I probably got off the scene for like another 10, 15 years.
Yeah. No, we seen Shannon again at like 6. And then I didn't see y'all, well, we was at Loretta House.
So
So at that time, everybody was little.
When I would come home from the military, what did y'all remember? What do you remember?
It was always an argument. Somebody always wanted to argue with you. Most of the time, Loretta. And we always went out to eat.
Right.
We always went out to eat.
What was our favorite spot?
Was it Red Lobster?
No, I don't make food place.
No, Grandmom's favorite place was Red Lobster and Seafood Shanty. But we always got in the red van. And we would go to Atlantic City was always the first stop. And all the way there, we would play the license plate game where you had to, whoever could tell the most out-of-state license plates, that was the game. You had to like catch it fast. And Sandy always got hyped when we saw somebody that said their thing was Oklahoma or Dallas.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know, we would just go to the beach for the day, and I don't know, we just had so much fun. I remember eating a bunch of saltwater taffies on the boardwalk. It was just so much junk after we was in the sand forever.
Yeah.
That was like the best.
You didn't like?
Some things that I didn't like about who?
About me.
That I didn't like about you?
Yeah.
Everything nonstop.
If you don't shut up.
I go next.
No. Why?
I can't. I don't know. I honestly don't know as far as things I didn't like.
Yeah. Oh,
I think I would have to think hard.
One time we got in a conversation and we were older at this point, and you thought we just always had money. Remember?
I did.
Yeah, you was like, what you tell me?
Now, you know what? Because Loretta always used to say you was rich. You was in the service, and you was rich, and your husband was rich, and so I did always thought you and Randy just had it all. And you paid for everything that we had when you came home. Wherever we went, y'all paid for everything. So it did kind of look like, you know, y'all had that government money. It looked real good. I ain't gonna lie, it looked real good.
But no, everybody always thought that when we came home, and since it's all family in the room, right? I hated family.
Yeah.
I didn't like coming home.
Yeah, you said you always told us you only came home for your sisters.
Always been like that. Tell me all the things you remember about Barbara Jean.
Because that's my mama. Listen, that's my mom. At the end of the day, I don't know, with Barbara, it's like, I personally was never told no for nothing from her. And as everybody said, oh, that's her favorite, she do whatever she wants. I don't remember ever getting in trouble. We always went shopping. I could put whatever I wanted in that cart. I could get whatever I wanted whether it was the market, the mall, no matter what store we went to. I always did. Like I never really got in trouble in school until high school. But Like I went on every trip in school. Like she always paid for any and everything I wanted. Like we lived in a big house. There was a lot of family in our house, even family we ain't want around. Yep. Family from down south that just popped up and she let them live there.
Yeah.
And like her house was always open to anybody, like literally anybody. All our friends could spend the night on the weekends. Like she was a person, we couldn't go into people's houses, but they could come to ours. Yeah, she was not with that. There was no, I asked to walk my girlfriend Tamira home. It was no, who's walking you back? And I was like, all right, can I just walk her to the corner? And I ran all the way, all the way down the street so I could run to her house anyway. And I was fast, so I ran back.
My name is Shantae Alexander. I am Sandy's youngest sister.
All right, number
6.
All right. So now, this is gonna be a little tricky. So we got to let her have this. Tell me what you remember.
About who?
Me, the red man. Okay, we gotta let you get it off your chest. So tell
I mean, to be honest,
Go ahead.
I don't remember much.
Right.
I really don't.
I know, but what part do you remember about me?
At a young age, so you want to say like under 10?
Right, so what do you remember? You tell the truth.
I just remember you coming to mommy house. I would like to say it was always hot outside, so it probably was like during the summer,
right,
or whatever. Maybe every summer. I don't want to say every summer. And I remember you guys coming over to visit. I remember Day. She had like long ponytails. I don't really remember the younger boys that much. I do remember Shannon briefly, and I remember playing double dutch outside. Maybe with Betty, Rakima might have been there, the kids. I just remember being in front of mommy house, maybe on the step, for a brief amount of time.
So
that's really it.
Right. So okay. So rumor has it.
Rumor has it
that when I would come to town, and I would go to gather everybody up, all the sisters and nieces or nephews or whatever the case was, you felt like I left you out, right? Or you was told I left you out?
As a kid, I don't remember that. I don't remember as a kid, oh, she left me out.
But you remember not being able to go?
Yes, I do remember not being able to go. And I knew that was probably because of mom, because I would ask my mom, can I go? And it would always be no. Point blank period, no, you can't go. I don't remember why. I think she would make up something. Oh, we got something to do. Oh, we got to go here. Oh, she has this. But it was always no. Point blank, yeah,
so
no.
Did you ever feel like I didn't like you?
No. I never really got that vibe as a kid, because you was always sweet and nice to me. Like, but I don't remember you as much, like you not being around. But I do remember it being hot outside and you coming. I'm assuming that was the summertime. Okay. And it wasn't like all the time in the summer, but whenever you came, I think whenever you came to Philly, you made a stop at mommy's. Right. And I remember Betty and Rakima being there. Like y'all came as a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a red van.
And I say that because I was always worried, and of course the sisters know that we would always come and ask mommy if you could come with us or whatever, but she would never let us stay here.
Yeah.
So we always felt bad about it and stuff like that.
Who, me?
Won't you think about the stuff from the beach?
I don't remember that. I don't. I'm being honest. I don't remember anything.
You ain't never get anything?
I don't know. I don't remember that. Nothing was really special because you guys never gave it to me in my hand, so I can't remember that.
Well, we couldn't because of what? Because a lot of times, you anything that we wanted to give you, you know who it had to go to, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like I remember sentimental, I guess, things, and I don't remember you guys giving me anything in my hand. Like that would be the things I would remember.
I know.
So because it wasn't physically given to me, I don't remember.
I mean, I'm saying I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't apologize for something. It definitely wasn't your fault. I think as a kid, it just was the same thing. I was used to rejection, so it wasn't a big deal to me.
I know, isn't that a shame? That's just
so it came natural. So when I would ask to go places, it was like, no, all right, go in your room.
All right.
It got to the point where I didn't even ask to go outside because it was always a rejection.
I got you.
Yeah, but go ahead.
So how all y'all get along when with Rakima and Betty when y'all was in Abbotsford?
I do remember that a little bit. I just remember being the annoying little sister. The annoying little sister used to always get Betty and Rakim in trouble because they used to always have boys at the back window.
Don't say that. That was Rakima. That was Rakima talking to the boys at the
Again,
window.
I don't even know how old I was. Do you guys remember how old y'all came to live with mommy? How old I might have been?
When we came to live there with you, you had just turned 4.
Oh wow! So I was very young. So I might have been 6, around 6 if y'all moved.
Rakima was 16, and she had Dante.
I remember Dante as a baby.
She had Dante already.
Okay.
And he was going on 1.
So you got him on purpose.
Most likely, yeah, because I would want candy. I would want candy. Excuse me, guys. It's my turn. Thank you. Listen up.
So now, all right, I know, right? Okay, so now you're all grown up. How has life been treating you? I know you have a daughter now. That's your pride and joy.
Yes, it is. Being a mother is my pride and joy. But also just trying to like stay stress free, I guess. Cause this is, I guess, not off the record, but I suffer from like anxiety. So that's like a big thing that I try to like manage every day. And like, but yeah, besides that, just trying. I think that just come from as I get older, I realize that stem from my childhood.
I got you. All right, last question.
Yeah.
Anything you wish you could change or any regrets?
I guess to do better to be around my sisters. Because as I'm around you now, and especially you, Sandy, because I feel like we don't really talk. And it's nothing against you. I don't have nothing against. I think it's just something I can do better because I do have this thing where I do isolate myself, and it's not just from you. I do it to Rakima and Betty. Like they don't hear from me. Excuse me. Y'all don't even have to talk because y'all young generation. Y'all don't contact nobody. Y'all the younger generation is new millennials, whatever you want to call yourselves. Y'all don't contact nobody anyway. They just don't. But I think, honestly, to be honest, real quick, I think it's just the way how life was dealt to us. And Betty, listen, I think you need to hear this. Rakima, seriously, real talk. Real talk, listen. No, seriously. I think this is how life was dealt to us. Because I say that because as a kid, my life was always lonely. That's how I like to, if I had to talk to a therapist and they said, well, how was your childhood lonely? It was. Because it was always just me and my mom in the house. And then when I did go, I might go to Miss Connie's house where she always lived next door, or I would always have to go around my cousin's house. I didn't understand it. Like, how the hell I'm going around to my cousins in them house when I got sisters that's at Barbara in them house, or you was in, like, it just didn't make sense. But not to get into all of that, I just think I was always by myself, that as I got older, I'm still a loner. I don't know how to be around people. Yes, I see you guys, but it lasts for a little bit, then I go back in my shell. That's just how I am, and I'm trying to control it and be different, but I can't. That's how I was brought up, and I need y'all to understand that.
But that's just it. You was always around us.
I wasn't, Betty. No, as a kid, I was not.
No, you're not going to remember. But I know for a fact, like I remember coming home from school in elementary school, and I was in like 3rd grade, and you was in Pam room in the bed, and I was like,
Betty,
what's that? Like,
how old was I though?
You was a baby.
Okay, but let's be realistic.
So that's different.
Like, I get that, Betty.
Remember.
Right, but the attachment from that time and up, you don't remember that. Like, I don't remember all of that when I got older. It was different. Yeah. But y'all wasn't like, I'm not saying you wasn't around, but y'all left. I get the situation, and then I was just me and mommy, and then y'all came around here and there. Again, mommy probably kept y'all away or made up lies or whatever the case may be. So I say that. That's what I'm. Yeah.
So check this out. So I can say the same thing.
Right.
Maybe some of the reason that I don't come around a lot is because of the same issue.
Mm-hmm.
Figure. What? I got it right. When Daisy had me from birth, put me out at 4. Was with grandma till about 5, maybe about 4 or 5. I left grandma's house at 6. I ain't seen no family since 13. So my thing is, a lot of the reason why it's easy for me to be like deuces is because I have no attachment, and that's not a good thing. Right. So like you, a lot of times I'm not trying to come back and flex and flog. I ain't got time. What I'm trying to do is to somehow correct some of the dysfunction that we went through that none of us can explain. It's nobody's fault. You know what I mean? It's just trying to figure out, okay, so what do we do different so our kids don't have to deal with that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You never know what's going to happen. So I get what you're saying. I understand the detachment. I tell everybody I got attachment issues, and that's why I can walk away easy. That's not a good thing, and I know that at 50.
Y'all just used to being alone, that's why.
That exactly. Cause, I mean, I can literally anybody that tell you that anybody that knows me, I'm talking about in ministry and stuff. They'll tell you I've had people live with me, and they will tell you, "Oh, she ain't coming out that room."
Sounds like mine.
You know what I mean? So that's
She ain't
what
coming
I
out
mean
their
when I
house.
say it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's okay, but it's something that we're just trying to have to figure out.
Right.
That's all. So you know we love you though.
Yeah, I always
I
know that you love me. I don't remember having no type of ill will as a kid or older towards you guys at all. So,
Because I
just remember you being in and out. That's it, basically. And that's how I.
With you, I mean, like even with Betty and Kima, all the trash that when I would come and I'd leave and they'd be talking about me like a dog and drop money. I ain't talking about only this them. I'm talking about other folk kids that wasn't mine, or who wasn't niece or nephew, and it hurts.
Right.
Because you're just trying to show love. You ain't trying to do nothing.
Right.
We came home on paychecks we saved up so that we could get everybody to have a good time.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
But it's all good. All right, so tell us your name and who you are to me.
The best person you know.
I'm not saying go ahead. Please.
Rakima. The best person you know. The fourth one. I'm in the middle.
All right.
Middle people's always the good ones. Quiet.
All right, so when did we first? What's your earliest memory of our connection?
When you went out the window.
Really? Always out the window. Okay, no, you cannot go with the window. You gotta go before the window. I ran away.
She ran away with that red coat. She went out the window in the dining room.
You gotta stay. You gotta keep it in order. I know, girl. What's your earliest memory? See if y'all know this.
When you was fighting that boy across the street. When you was fighting.
I remember that.
Remember she was fighting the boy across the street, and then she beat up Kim. And you ripped her clothes off.
Sure did. Titty was out.
And Mr. Gilbert was like, "Look at y'all don't know how to act."
I remember that.
I know this is nice.
I remember when you beat up Rashid.
Who was Rashid?
Carol's son.
Oh,
Girlfriend.
Oh, hell to the yes. I remember.
That was the day Reno threw the. That was the day Reno threw the bear through the window.
I just said you about the light. Girl, look, see now. I know who to call.
I think I mostly remember when you was pregnant with Shannon.
Okay, so what you?
I'm trying to say no.
All right, y'all back here. Sorry. So what you remember? What you remember about me being pregnant with Shannon?
That you was pregnant with Shannon.
From the. She was fighting when she was pregnant with Shannon.
From the boy across the street. Angie and Kim brother, adopted brother, right?
No, that was his brother.
No, that was Miss Ruth. Was that Miss Ruth? It was Miss Ruth adopted grandson.
Oh no, it wasn't. No, he was a foster kid.
Yeah, I said adopted.
Yeah, Sean was one of them. He was foreign too. Come on.
I think that's what I remember.
This is so crazy.
I think that's what I
See,
remember.
Rakima interrupted. I couldn't tell
I
her.
know she did.
Cool,
Alright,
you remember.
Okay, so now tell them about the red coat since you done brought it all up.
She ran away. She said, "I'm leaving and I'm not coming back." I was like, "So what you want to tell Grandma?" She like, "Don't tell her nothing." And then she went out the window like Spider-Man. I just remember the red coat, the end of it, because it was long, and that was the last thing to leave out the dining room window.
Did I come back?
Yeah, you came back. I remember waking up for school, and you was sitting on the couch like this. I was like, I knew she was coming back. She told me she wasn't coming back. I was like, she's coming back. There she goes. She in trouble because the way she's sitting there. I remember that.
Go ahead.
And Grandma was on the other couch, and you was on one couch, and she was on the phone. And I think she was talking about you because you had to look like I don't want to hear none of it. She's probably on the phone with Aunt Shirley talking about you. Yeah.
I know, right? Exactly. Okay, so.
I remember you going on prom. I think that's when blue became my favorite color because you had that pretty blue dress.
Shantae wore blue for her prom.
Shantae wore the same blue for her prom. Yeah. And you had the fur thing over you. I don't remember your date. I don't remember you leaving. I just remember you sitting on the grass like, and the picture being taken. I don't even know who took the picture.
Me either.
So I guess you was in high school. Oh man, so I guess it goes back. I don't remember you going to school though.
I did go to school. I graduated. You gotta remember that.
I remember the cap and gown because that was the picture that Latif used to pick up every day.
Right.
You don't remember.
Oh, the one I always thought was you.
You thought that was me? That's why you picked it up? No, that was on the mantelpiece. It was a picture of Sandy that was in this thing by the door, and you would wake up every morning and you would go get it like you knew who she was. You will hold it too. Just walk around with your saggy, pissy pamper. It was just a shaking. I like put that picture back. Like, you don't even know who that is.
Alright, so what else you remember? Life goes on, come home. What about vacation, Randy? Anything else you wanna?
I remember you socked Randy. Sorry, Poochie. When Sandy came up, oh no, you know what? I remember before Randy and all of them. I remember like, when we used to play outside, and every time we saw an airplane, we'd be like, Sandy coming. But you didn't come. But the one morning you came and you was dressed in your military outfit. Like you had the hat on and everything. You looked so dapper there. You looked so nice. Came in. And I don't remember what happened after that. But I remember you coming in all uniform. I don't know what part of the military you was in at that point. Was it always the Army?
It's always the Army.
But you didn't, it like you had a Navy uniform on. You had the cap.
No, it was always on.
Maybe I dreamt it. But either way, I remember you came home fully dressed in uniform. Ricky?
And the red Corvette or Camaro. Everything.
No, Ricky was Richard?
Yeah.
They did that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, I remember him. He was tall, dark skin, curly hair, wonderful smile. I remember
That's
him.
when we used to work across the street. We used to go in there stealing.
Yeah, because it was Richard and Rick.
Oh, you talking? No, that was
Rick with the square.
It was less.
Do you remember Barry?
Yes, I remember.
He licked your ear on the porch. I was like, a boy did that to me when I was in kindergarten, but that was the first time I saw it when he did it to you on the porch. And he had muscles, and he used to let me and Betty swing on his muscles. We would hold right here, he would swing us around on the porch. Barry.
You remember that?
Oh. That man, he looked like he was military.
Barry.
He looked like he was military, but he was real fit.
The Devin went into the military. He became a Marine. Whatever happened to him?
He's a brother Devin.
Yeah, he used to.
Oh, he's a brother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you really liked him.
The last time I seen
He was cute.
He was
the
a
last
Marine.
time I seen Devin was when their mom died.
Oh,
And
okay.
he came back home.
He wasn't as handsome as he was when he came back. But I remember Devin.
So was our mean sister?
No, I feel like to me you was a good big sister. Like I remember, like when you wasn't there, you would call me or I would call you, and we would be on the phone for hours. And I remember every time like I got myself into trouble. I'm not gonna say what kind of trouble, but you helped me. You helped me a lot every time. If it wasn't you, it was Jamia. But for the most part, it was you. Like you would. I still don't, to this day I don't know how the Western Union, but you told me what to do to get the Western Union.
Right.
And yeah, I remember it used to be like this.
So have I changed?
No,
For the better.
not no, not really.
much the same?
I don't think. Yeah.
But yeah,
Like I know if I needed you, I could call you. Not too long ago, I was thinking about calling you. Like, oh my God, I should just call Sandy, but I didn't, because you got a lot going on right now. But like this,
Alright, anything else you want to say before we go to the nieces and nephews?
some bad stuff.
Okay, we'll let you say.
All right, hold up. Let me see.
We'll let you say all the bad stuff.
I don't remember why Babe don't remember getting busted in the head. and you bust her in the head because I forgot what she did, but whatever she did,
You know what?
I told
think I
you.
hit her in the head with a
A high heel shoe.
I did.
Oh,
Because I think I don't know what it was.
But it didn't have nothing to do with me. You was arguing. Something was going on and you threw it.
No, it wasn't like it was you. I told on you because you did something to me, and Sandy was watching us. And I told Sandy, I was like, Sandy, Betty, da 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 da. Now, why she picked up the shoe, I don't know. But she said clunk, clunk, and then when the blood splattered,
I remember that.
you did. It was a 2-hit, bang bang. That was it. And when I saw the blood, I was like, ooh, Sandy will get in trouble. And she did. That was the first time I saw you get a beating. I think I may have saw you get a beating twice, but it wasn't like a beat in. It was like a beat down. Like grandma tore you up for that because she had to take Babe to the hospital and Betty had to get stitches or staples in the middle of your head. Carrie made you get stitches. No, you made you get stitches when Carrie locked us on the roof. And she banged. Who bangs on a window? I don't want to be scared. She banged on a window.
Okay, go ahead. What do you want to say? How you want to end it?
I remember you bought me them expensive sneakers. That's probably when I decided I wanted to become a sneakerhead. You said you was gonna give me an MGM sweatsuit, and I still want it. You said this is when y'all was living in Germany.
Oh yeah.
And you said it was cheap down there because I said it was high up here. So I would like my sweatsuit. I would like it. I would like it. You can give me the short one like Martin had on.
Okay.
And I remember when I came out to you, and I thought you was gonna judge me.
Why do you think that?
Because that's what people do. But you didn't say nothing.
Well, you remember exactly what I told you?
You said it don't matter to me. I still love you.
That's right.